Salut les gars, salut les amis, nous sommes ici encore. D'abord, je vais vous dire merci d'avoir suivi ma chaîne. Merci de vous être abonné à ma chaîne YouTube. Nous allons continuer avec la leçon précédente. Ça fait un peu de temps que je n'ai pas publié, mais cette fois-ci, je vais continuer. Je vais vous promettre que à partir d'aujourd'hui, je vais essayer d'être plus consistant en ce qui concerne ma publication. Et la fois passée, on a parlé des adjectifs qualificatifs et on a dit que les adjectifs qualificatifs peuvent se placer avant le nom ou après le nom. Dans les cas que nous avons vus, nous avons dit que certains adjectifs qualificatifs peuvent se placer et avant le nom et après le nom. Donc, c'est le cas que nous allons voir aujourd'hui. Nous allons voir le cas de ceux-là qui peuvent se placer et avant le nom et après le nom, mais le sens n'est pas toujours le même. Hi guys, welcome back again. Thank you for following my channel. It's been a little while I haven't uploaded a video, but I promise I will try to be more consistent in my uploads these days. And we will continue with the previous lesson that we talked about the last time, which had to do with descriptive adjectives. And in that lesson, we said that there are adjectives in French. Normally in French, adjectives are placed after the noun that they determine, after the nouns that they're qualified. But in certain cases, we can place an adjective, a descriptive adjective, before a noun. In today's lesson, we want to talk about those ones that can be placed both before the noun and after the noun. But what I want you to know in this case is that the meaning is not always the same. The meaning will totally change depending on whether or not the descriptive adjective is placed before the noun or after the noun. So let us have a look at a few examples so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Just as a recap, when we talk about descriptive adjectives in French or les adjectifs qualificatifs, we're talking about words like joli, cool, jeune, dernier, important, belle, beau, nouveau, et ainsi de suite. So those are the words that we are talking about. They are describing words. Now let's have a look at a few of those examples. Okay, so one example will be un homme brave and un brave homme. Two different things. Un homme brave and un brave homme. So when we say un homme brave, we are talking about somebody that's brave, a man that is brave, un homme brave. But when we change the position of the brave, so we take it from after homme and bring it before homme, we have un brave homme. In this case, we are not talking about a brave man anymore, but we are talking about a good man, a nice man, someone that is respectable. So when you say un brave homme, there's quite a bit of a difference between un homme brave and un brave homme, depending on the placement of the descriptive adjective, as I said before. Let's have a look at another example. Une certaine histoire et une histoire certaine. So let's have a look at une certaine histoire et une histoire certaine. So when we're talking about une certaine histoire et une histoire certaine, in the case of une certaine histoire, we are saying simply that there's a particular story that we want to mention. We don't know whether the story is true or not. But when we talk about une histoire certaine, in this case, we are saying that that story is true. Une histoire certaine is sure. So that certain means sure in French. Une histoire certaine. And there's a bit of a difference between une certaine histoire et une histoire certaine. So those are the meanings there, as you can see. Depending on the placement or movement of certain, the meaning changes. Let's have a look at another one. Un garçon pauvre et un pauvre garçon. Un garçon pauvre et un pauvre garçon. Now, note the difference there. Un garçon pauvre doesn't have money. We're talking about someone who doesn't have money at all. Un garçon pauvre. But if we change the position of pauvre and bring it forward, we have un pauvre garçon. We're no longer talking about him not having money. We're talking about him being pitiful. We're talking about us having mercy on him. We're talking about him being an innocent person. Un pauvre garçon. Oh, mon pauvre garçon. We're talking about having pity on him. A pitiful person. So get the difference there. Let's have a look at more examples. The next one is un élève seul et un seul élève. Un élève seul, as you can see, un élève seul means he's by himself. This pupil or student is by himself. So that's un élève seul. He's alone, by himself, un élève seul. But when we say un seul élève, we mean one pupil, one unique pupil or student. So you get it? In the first case, un élève seul is alone. There's nobody with him. In the second case, un seul élève, we just want one. We don't want 2, 3, or 4. We just want one student. J'ai besoin d'un seul élève. I need only one student, only a student. Let's have a look at more examples. Another example could be ma propre maison et ma maison propre. Ma propre maison et ma maison propre. So when we say ma propre maison, we are talking about something that belongs to me. It's essentially ma propre maison. But when we change the position of propre and put it after maison, ma maison propre, we're not talking about something that really belongs to me, even though it has that meaning. We're not talking about that case. What we're simply saying is that my house is clean. We're still saying the house belongs to me, but the emphasis is now on the cleanliness, the tidiness of the house. Ma maison propre. Let's have a look at more examples. The next one we want to have a look at is ton ancien atelier et ton atelier ancien. Ton ancien atelier is your former workshop. Maybe you used to work there before and you've all of a sudden stopped. You've moved on to a new job. That's ton ancien atelier. But ton atelier ancien, in that case, you still have it, but it's an old one. It's old, it's old-fashioned, it's not up to date, it's not modern. That's ton atelier ancien. And then we have a look at un cher ami et un ami cher. Un cher ami et un ami cher. Un cher ami is a dear friend, someone that's close to your heart. Un cher ami. Un ami cher, I'm thinking of a kind of an example that would really explain this, but in terms of we're looking at an expensive friend. Or I just use that example, but I can't think of why a friend would be expensive unless we're selling that friend. But just for you to get the logic behind it. So that's it. Let's have a look at more examples. The next one is la fois dernière et la dernière fois. La fois dernière et la dernière fois. La fois dernière is just the last time. Maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a week ago is la fois dernière. But la dernière fois is telling us that there's no more. Que ce soit la dernière fois. Let this be the last time. There's nothing after this. No more times after this. No more opportunities after this. La dernière fois. So you see the meaning changes when you place dernière before or after the noun. Let's have a look at another example. Un grand homme et un homme grand. It would say un grand homme is a great man. He has greatness. Maybe he's powerful. Maybe he's popular. And he's well known. He has a lot of power. Ça c'est un grand homme. But un homme grand is different. We're just talking about his height. He's a tall man. Un homme grand homme, a great man. Un homme grand, a tall man. And let's have a look at this one. Un sacré livre and un livre sacré. So when we say un sacré livre, we're talking about an awesome book, a very good book. But when we turn it around to un livre sacré, moving sacré after the noun which is livre, it becomes a holy book, like a religious book. So you see the difference. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. So just for a recap, there are usually, when we talk about descriptive adjectives or les adjectifs qualificatifs in French, they go after the noun. But there are some of these adjectives qualificatifs that we can place before the noun. We've talked about those in the previous lesson. Now, in this lesson, we're talking about those that go either way, either before or after. But depending on which way they go, the meanings change. Thanks for watching. Au revoir et à bientôt. À la prochaine fois.